Hello everyone and welcome back. It's Q4E5 captioned Excuses to Avoid Mission. Let's get started. You will recall that in Q4E3 we came to a conclusion that God has a purpose, a mission, and a call. Now, sometimes this call may take us out of our comfort zones, and it's usually struggle. This week we will be exploring some of the reasons for these hesitations using the experience of our brother Jonah. Let's get into it. Reason number one, fear. What do we know about Nineveh? Well, it was the capital of Assyria. It was a wicked and cruel city, but also it was the arch rival of Israel for a long time. Yet God delegates Jonah to still give them a chance to choose right and be saved. Know what you're thinking, but before you begin to judge Brother Jonah, think it over. Would you have done any different? Better still, are you currently subtly avoiding similar outside your comfort zone divine calls for fear of uncertainties? Well, if it helps, the story of Jonah ends with an entire city saved because Jonah, though reluctantly, did the needful. Reason number two, a misunderstanding of who God is and what He has called us into. In course of your walk with God, have you ever wondered the following? 1. Can I truly trust God enough to take care of me and all that concerns me and family? Should I, in obedience, step out of my comfort zone to follow His lead, whatever that may be? Well, yes, you can. You can ask Brother Abraham. It may have been rough, but it was worth the walk in the long run. But what if I don't know enough? I don't even know all the fundamental doctrines, and I definitely cannot quote the Bible like Sister Amanda. Oh, well, you are in good company. You see, the woman at the well returned the evangelist only after a couple of minutes with Jesus. She only had to share what she knew. Besides, you couldn't have been worse than Moses in speech. Okay, so what if after all the hard work, not even a single soul is converted? Well, first off, that's not even our job. Our call is not to do the saving, but to cooperate with God in His saving work. Reason number 3, inconveniences. Let's face it, life can be tough, and we all have our challenges. Now, on top of that, responding to the call will sometimes mean for a moment setting aside our issues and dealing with other people's issues. And trust me, that requires time and emotional energy. Investing in other people's lives and truly caring for them can be taxing. In an age when we are stressed keeping up with our own lives and problems, providing emotional support for others can seem just too exhausting. It doesn't even just end there. There is also a financial aspect to it. Now, being involved in mission often requires that we change how we feel about and use our money, whether it be related to providing care for people, purchasing literature, outreach materials, or paying for services or conveniences to free up time for mission work. However you look at it, there are expenses related. Bottom line is, whatever form it may take, mission work requires sacrifice, and sacrifices can be inconveniencing. Now, having said that, God's mission is often carried forward on the shoulders of those who are willing to sacrifice, even if reluctantly, like Jonah. The issue at stake here is the eternal destiny of souls. Question is, what sacrifice is God asking you to make today or be ready to make for the sake of sharing His love with someone else? How completely do you trust that He will fulfill His promise to enrich your life through your sacrifice? Don't answer me, answer God. Reason number 4, uncomfortable confrontations. Now, Brother Jonah finally makes it to Nineveh after a dramatic experience with a whale. Reluctantly delivers the message, but his deep-seated hatred for the Ninevites still lingered, so much so that he valued a plant more than their salvation. He'll rather die than see his worldview challenged. Very interesting. How can someone be so active in the salvation of other people, yet with a heart so filled with such unholy traffic? While responding to the call, we may sometimes need to face uncomfortable truths about our own prejudices and biases. If anything, Brother Jonah's story teaches us humility and the need to confront our own biases. Question is, will you be open to change? In summary, despite Jonah's flaws, God still used him to deliver his messages to the Ninevites. Jonah's story reminds us of the following points. 1. God will not discard any, not even the wicked, without giving everyone a chance to know the truth and choose right. So technically, when one is saved or lost, it will be an outcome, a direct consequence of how they have responded to the opportunity that God has given them to know and choose right. However, to reach all these people, God has called us to service. Responding to this call can sometimes be scary, inconveniencing, cost-intensive, and may sometimes take us beyond our comfort zones. And sometimes, to be honest, it's more convenient to adopt one of the readily available excuses to avoid responding to the call. However, Jonah's journey teaches us that it is the eternal destiny of souls at stake, and I hope we choose right. So as we wrap up, here is a challenge for you this week. Pray for and connect with someone who needs to experience God's love this week. Let's be willing messengers and make a difference in their lives. It's just about Skodoodle signing off.